I don't rightly know where this is going to go tonight, but I suppose we're going to find out sooner rather than later. All right. For those of you who have not heard about it, P. Diddy is finding himself in yet another legal situation. This guy should just, instead of renting penthouses in Midtown, he needs to just rent one right across the street from the court building. That way it'll be easier access for him. All right. So, long time, no itinerant, former singer. I don't think you can still be one at this point right here. I don't think you can be. Former singer Cassie, however you want to call it, she's filed a lawsuit against him for $30 million for something that should be a crime, but apparently it's such a crime that she wants to make sure she shakes you down for money first. And as the details are emerging, as is always the case, we are finding out that that's what's happening, as is always the case. It goes beyond that. And I want to dig into this because as the definitive school of power dynamics, I want to go into exactly why it is that you would see things like this, why it is that things like that would occur, and why it is that you see things like that happen. That's what I want to go into. I want to go into that so that you all understand exactly how that works. Because there are a lot of folks here who don't understand. We warn you about these things in advance so that you may find yourself in a similar type of situation. And if you do, you want to know why. Now, here's the lawsuit itself. And I'm going to go over this. Because I want you to understand a few things. We covered this with the Lizzo situation. We covered this with that. And what did I tell you all then? I am no friend of Lizzo. But what did I tell you it was with Lizzo, with Tiger Woods? It's a shakedown. As soon as you let these other folk know that their time hanging on to the bag is done, that's when the lawsuits start flying. That's where the lawsuits start flying. All right, here is the text from the lawsuit itself, filed in federal court. Cassandra Ventura versus Sean Combs, Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Records, Epic Records, Comb Enterprises, LLC, and Doe Corps, 1 through 10. All right. Says on here who the plaintiff is, who the defendant is, preliminary statement, talking about some of their time together. Here's what it says. The truth, however, is that Cassie, Miss Cassandra Ventura, was held down by Mr. Combs and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbed demands. For Miss Ventura, the dark times were those she spent trapped by Mr. Combs in a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking. Sex trafficking, now that's a serious allegation to make. Sex trafficking. That's a serious allegation to make. Serious allegation to make. And as a result here, I want you all to understand that those words are being used for a purpose and for a reason. That when you hear somebody saying that, especially when it doesn't apply, it's like, something else is going on here. Says, among other violent and unlawful acts, Mr. Combs raped Miss Ventura in her own home after she tried to leave him. Wait till we get details, folks. Often punched, beat, kicked, and stomped Miss Ventura, resulting in bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and bleeding. blew up a man's car after he learned that he was romantically interested in Miss Ventura. What is this, a James Cameron action movie? Forced Miss Ventura to engage in sex acts with male sex workers while masturbating and filming the encounters. Forced. Okay, folks, forced is a word with a definition. Forced is a word with a meaning. That means that you were going to be doing it involuntarily, through no volition of your own. And we'll see if the details actually show that you can force this person multiple times, force them to have sex with male sex workers while you're his girlfriend. Ran out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive whom we learned was nearby. Suge Knight. Which, by the way, this part of that is so innocuous, it really doesn't make any sense. It's so innocuous, it doesn't make any sense. Demanded that Miss Ventura to karaoke. Whoever your attorneys are these ambulance chasers were in such a hurry. They were in such a hurry to get to the courthouse, they didn't even proofread their own lawsuit. Didn't even grammar check it for anything. They were in such a hurry to get to the courthouse. So now we know what kind of attorneys she's hired. Now we know what kind of attorneys she's got a hold of. They're in such a hurry to file the lawsuit, they can just taste the $30 million. They can just taste it. Demanded Ms. Ventura carry his firearm in her purse just to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is. And introduced Ms. Ventura to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance abuse and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy her own addictions. Ms. Ventura met Mr. Combs in 2005 when she was 19 years old and he was 37 years old. He signed her to his label Bad Boy Records and within a few years lured Ms. Ventura into an ostentatious, fast-paced, and drug-fueled lifestyle and into a romantic relationship with him, her boss, one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry and a vicious, cruel, and controlling man nearly 2 decades her senior. You all notice they keep bringing up the age thing whenever it's black men involved. They keep bringing up the age thing. Remember that with the thought cop? Remember? I told you all about that there. When it's black men, they bring up your age difference. Now, on the one hand, it doesn't matter if you're 16 years old, if you're a female and you want to have an abortion, why you're old enough to handle that decision if you want to have an abortion. You're old enough. I know with my body, my choice at 16. Just as soon as things don't go your way, I was young and vulnerable and all these old, I didn't know what to do. A schizophrenic society that tells you that you are exempt from accountability. This is the kind of narcissistic schizophrenia you run into. Just a point there, by the way. And yes, 19 years old is grown. However, even if I were to stretch that out that much, I'm just saying, didn't we cross that line at 16? Mr. Combs asserted complete control over Ms. Ventura's personal and professional life, thus ensuring her inability to escape his hold. He provided unprecedented avenues for success for the inspiring artist, but in return, demanded obedience, loyalty, and silence. People, I've worked for some of the largest corporations on this planet. That's what every company you go to work for expects from you. Whoever in the world is this law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, folks, that's what every employer, Walmart wants that from you. Walmart demands obedience, loyalty, and silence. Jason, what do you mean by silence? Every corporation, every company, big or small that you work for, they have confidential information that you are not allowed to disseminate or disclose to other people. And we would call all those corporations powerful, would we not? Folks, come on now. This law firm right here got their degrees out of a Cracker Jack box. Probably got a whole string of them just papering the walls. Like this is something unusual. This is standard procedure. For the companies that you all work for right now, this is standard procedure at your job. Throughout their relationship, Mr. Combs was prone to uncontrollable rage and frequently beat Miss Ventura savagely. These beatings were witnessed by Mr. Combs' staff and employees of Bad Boy Entertainment and Mr. Combs-related businesses, but no one dared to speak up against their frightening and ferocious boss. Frightening and ferocious boss, so that makes it sound like they were all intimidated and scared of him, but before the text of this lawsuit is over, she's going to claim that they were not afraid of him, that everybody was just in on it, that they were all a part of it. Following these episodes of horrific abuse, Mr. Combs would immediately attempt to hide Miss Ventura and the evidence of his violent rage. He often showered her with gifts following incidents of physical violence, a typical pattern of behavior by serial abusers. No, it's not. Actually, it isn't. Actually, it's not. In addition to physical assaults, Miss Combs frequently reminded Miss Ventura of his ability to cause serious harm, whether by requiring her to carry his gun in her purse or by blowing up the car of a musician that was romantically interested in Miss Ventura. Adding insult to injury, Mr. Combs used illegal substances and threats of violence to force Miss Ventura into repeated, unwanted sexual encounters with male sex workers. Folks, really? Really? All right. Ms. Ventura has now fully escaped Mr. Combs. 5 years later, you mean? But the harm that the assaults and sexual abuse he caused her to experience for nearly a decade will forever haunt her. She has required intensive medical and psychological care to recover from the trauma she lived through. She cannot, however, continue to live in silence about what she endured. Mr. Combs remains immensely powerful and immensely dangerous. Ms. Ventura therefore seeks justice for the decade of her life that Mr. Combs took away from her with threats of violence, excessive use of drugs. Folks, do you get this bull jive right here? What? She seeks justice for the decade of her life that Mr. Combs took away from her. People, I'm telling y'all right now, if women are allowed to sue niggas because you took away my best decade of my life, every single nigga listen to me right now, every single male nigga, there's a court docket with your name on it. If it's not there today, it will be within the next 10 years. If a woman is allowed to sit up here and say, I need justice for the decade of my life that you took away from me. Huh? There's not a single male listening to me right now who is not in the crosshairs of that little allegation. Every broad listening to me right now, live and recorded, is licking her chops. She's like, wait a minute, so if I can maneuver that nigga to New York, I can go in on him? This isn't even New York, this is federal court. Oh, so I can sue because you took my best years? Some of y'all got a broad, she big as a damn Frigidaire, gonna be waddling her round ass in the court somewhere to get you for that decade, them 2 years, them 4 years. Man, look here. I'm about to move overseas with Russell Simmons. If these are the rules, I'm about to move overseas with him. Go to a place where it's at least a little challenging for them to sue me for some garbage like this. Jason, I'm going to sue you because let me tell y'all right now, if that happens, I'm going to be in front of Judge Wapner like every other week. I'm going to be in front of Judge Judy every other week if these are the rules. Your Honor, Jason wasted my time. Your Honor, I got the damn text messages. I'm not going to marry you. I'm not going to marry anybody. Your Honor, he took them years. Well, sir, I'm just sitting there staring at the judge. I'm hearing you. Well, Mr. Black, the problem here is that under the new system of justice, as we are calibrating it here, in your mind, she may have agreed to it, but as far as we see to it, she didn't agree to it because she doesn't agree to it now. So if she doesn't continue agreeing to it, then she doesn't agree to it. So therefore, the agreement that you had is nullified because she does not agree to it anymore. Sir, can you stop spinning around? Mr. Black, return to your seat. Mr. Black, stop floating up around the ceiling, Mr. Black. That's where I'm going to be. That's where I'm going to be. Right there. Folks, Miss Ventura therefore seeks justice for the decade of her life that Mr. Combs took away from her with threats of violence, excessive use of drugs, physical and psychological abuse, and sexual slavery. Sexual slavery? If P. Diddy was a nigga working at Five Guys, would this be happening? Would this even occur? You already know. All right, it names all the statutes that she's trying to invoke here. So basically, if you're a black male living in New York City, it is a feminazi police state. They talk about the folks here. Now, Cassandra Ventura is a resident of the state of California and Connecticut. Wait a minute, she's a resident in 2 states? So, folks, women are just getting crazy with this nuts. You can just do whatever you want to. I'm a resident of 2 states, 3 states, 5 states. How the hell are you a resident of more than 1 state? What in the world? Can I have 2 driver's licenses? She just like, screw it. Whichever state will allow me to sue, I'm a resident of that one. I want to be in the New York district courts and California, so I got home court advantage. All right. Folks, this is what the hell he's up against. All right. So also Epic Records, they're going after them. So they're trying to go after a big bag. You can all see this. They're going after all the P. Diddy and Epic Records. So this is a bag chase. This is just a bag chase. All right. Factual allegations. Whoa, hold on a second. It's a good thing I kept this nearby. Nothing but science fiction about to get rattled off here. I didn't just bring the Pepto, I brought some ice chilled Pepto. I got some ice chilled Pepto because I'm like, okay, I need some help with this going down. Miss Ventura met Mr. Combs in late 2005 or early 2006. Okay, is this thought dating? What is this? Are we on thought time? I met the nigga in 2005 or 2006, somewhere around there. I can't remember what we was doing behind that club. All right. After Mr. Combs heard Miss Ventura's first single playing in the club and expressed interest in signing her to his label, Bad Boy Records. At the time, Miss Ventura was 19 years old. Mr. Combs was 37 years old. Within months, in February 2006, Miss Ventura signed a 10-album deal with Mr. Combs' record label. Man, P. Diddy about to screw over another one. Grabbed some 19-year-old chick out the club and said, here, sign away your life. Sign this contract. So yeah, he was about to get him another one. Miss Ventura's first album, Cassie, was released in August 2006, debuting at number 4 on the US Billboard 200. To promote the film, Miss Ventura made television appearances on MTV's Total Request Live and BET's 106 & Park. Miss Ventura suffered from significant performance anxiety during these appearances, and press outlets were highly critical of Miss Ventura's performances on these shows. So in other words, she wasn't very professional. She showed up, but she wasn't ready for prime time. She wasn't very professional. Look at this. Mr. Combs, however, sought to rehabilitate his newly signed talent. It sounds like she didn't have any talent. He picked her up out of a club and said, well, I bet you I can use this. So he has to go play damage control. Within a year of signing with Bad Boy Records, Mr. Combs became deeply entrenched in Miss Ventura's life, almost immediately asserting possession and control over her and inserting himself in all aspects of her career and personal life. You've already said that 6 or 7 times. In November 2006, Mr. Combs invited Miss Ventura to perform his song Come to Me along with him at the MTV Europe Music Awards in Copenhagen, Denmark. After rehearsal for the performance, Mr. Combs walked around in a robe with a drink in his hand, flaunting his lavish party lifestyle to his label's newly signed artist. During hair and makeup leading up to the performance, Miss Ventura's hairstylist and Mr. Combs' makeup artist told Miss Ventura that Mr. Combs was interested in Miss Ventura. Miss Ventura shrugged off the gossip and, in fact, expressed disgust given the large age gap between her and the president of her record label. Oh, so what you're trying to say now is, I would never do such a thing with him. He is totally undesirable. I would never do such a thing. Keep those words in mind, people. This ambulance chaser is going out of their way to keep trying to say that this girl didn't want anything from P. Diddy or whatever while she's sitting up here lapping up everything she can get. Just keep in mind, because that's not who the audience here is. We'll come back to that. Emphasizing the age and power dynamic early on in their working relationship, Mr. Combs positioned himself as a father figure and protector to Miss Ventura. By way of example, after returning to New York after a trip to Las Vegas, during which she endured a brief hospital stay, Miss Ventura, who was by then fully healthy, went out to a club with her friends. Why was she in the hospital? What did she do to end up there? Just want to know. Because she's going to claim that P. Diddy got her on drugs. I'm just wondering, what was she doing at the hospital? Because he heard her song at the club, so I'm just wondering if she was living that club life. Just wondering. When Mr. Combs saw her out, he reprimanded her, telling her to go home and take care of herself. Really? So he saw that she was out after being in the hospital and told her, go home. You need to be resting. At the time, Ms. Ventura thought her record label was looking out for her well-being and that Mr. Combs had her best interest in mind. Mr. Combs also assured he was intertwined with Ms. Ventura's personal and social life by inviting himself to Ms. Ventura's 21st birthday party in Las Vegas. He also brought along famous musicians and producers, thereby flaunting his celebrity status and influence in front of a young and impressionable Miss Ventura, inviting himself as if she wasn't the one who had to allow him in the building. If this was her birthday party in Vegas and she didn't want P. Diddy there, how in the hell did he get there? Well, he invited himself. I mean, folks, they're trying to turn what is up is down and down. This is why people hate lawyers. This right here, this is why, and you all know I am no friend of Sean Combs. Sean Combs, the evidence as far as I am concerned is clear. That Sean Combs certainly was an accessory in the events of the murder of Tupac Shakur, and thus spiraling into the events that killed Christopher Wallace, aka Notorious Biggie. I'm no friend of Sean Combs, but I gotta call this right down the middle. I gotta call this right down the middle. This is why people hate lawyers right here. This type of lawsuit, this is why they hate lawyers. There's no way in the hell this man can invite himself to another person's birthday party. This is nonsense to even say. This is an insult and a gross waste of the court's time. To even say this garbage. Although Mr. Combs knew that Miss Ventura was in a relationship at the time, and even though he was publicly in a relationship with Kim Porter, we'll come back to that, Miss Ventura. And even though he was publicly in a relationship with Kim Porter, Mr. Combs nevertheless pursued Miss Ventura. At an after party in a hotel suite following Miss Ventura's 21st birthday party, Mr. Combs pulled Miss Ventura into a bathroom and forcibly kissed her. At an after party in a hotel suite following her 21st birthday. Who the hell's hotel suite was this? After party? Was it her after party, or did she go off with Puffy? Notice you're not giving details here. An after party in a hotel suite. Whose after party? Why was she there? Was it hers or was it his? Ms. Ventura did not consent to this unwanted contact. She immediately ran out of the bathroom in the hotel suite and cried. Now, does anybody believe that? Does anyone believe that she, quote, ran out of the hotel suite crying? I know some of you are very dense. Some of you despise your fathers. I get it. Some of you just live your whole lives with just nothing but burning hatred and rancor for your dad. I get it. I'm not even talking about emotion right here. I'm just talking about mathematics. Does that even make any logical sense? Does that? Does that? She told the best friend at the time about what happened, but was too scared to tell anyone else. At the Video Music Awards the following day, Ms. Ventura's boyfriend at the time joined her and Mr. Combs at the table at the awards ceremony. Mr. Combs became angry, telling Ms. Ventura that the invitation to the awards ceremony was only for her and not for her significant other. All right, let me ask you all a question here, because by now she's 21 years old. She ain't no child. She's 21. To all the ladies listening right now, if your supervisor at your job told you that he was inviting you to the nicest hotel party in the city and you showed up with your boyfriend and he told you, yeah, this invitation's for you, not for your boyfriend, would you sit there and tell your boyfriend, well, he got to go, or well, baby, they say you can't be here? How would you, ladies, how would you respond if somebody told your boyfriend, yeah, your girl can show up, but not you? She can come in, but not you. Now, ladies, how would you respond to that? Because according to Cassie, well, there was nothing she could do. I want you all to think this over for just a few moments here. This is your boyfriend. If Pete, what would you like to say? Well, if you don't let my man in, I'm not coming. Hey, Diddy, if he doesn't go, I don't go. So very clearly, Cassie wasn't very solid with this dude. P. Diddy saw what it was. It was like, dude, I'm doing her a favor running your little lame ass off. I'm really doing her a favor. Buddy, you already on your last leg hanging on by a spider web. She's taking every opportunity she can to get away from you. She ready for that upgrade. She ready for that upgrade. But according to Cassie, oh, well, they told me he couldn't go. This old bogus ass lawsuit. Mr. Combs lures Miss Ventura into a relationship. Despite her clear rejection of Mr. Combs' advances, clearly it wasn't clear rejection enough, Mr. Combs continued to demand Miss Ventura spend time with him, including for a weekend at Mr. Combs' residence in Miami and for nights out in New York City. Did she go? Did she go? 21 years old. For all of you who are parents and got 21-year-olds in your life, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, anybody making your 21-year-old do a damn thing. If you see her hanging out with P. Diddy, you saying, damn, I messed up as a parent. But you're not saying, he done lured her in. He done seduced my baby. No, your baby is ready for the pole. On one particular night around September 2007, Mr. Combs insisted on taking Miss Ventura out. Miss Ventura acquiesced, fearing that rejecting Mr. Combs' request would have had repercussions for her album deal with Mr. Combs and his company, Bad Boy Records. What kind of repercussions? So in other words, she was more concerned. This is not an employee. She's not an employee. This is a record deal. So in other words, this is how committed to getting on she was. Cassie, like most women, was a climber. She was trying to climb and she's like, I'll be damned. I beat out the rest of you. I beat out the rest of you. That's all it is to it. I beat out the rest of you. That's all it is. As far as she's concerned, I beat out the rest of you. That's all there is to it. I just beat you. The rest of y'all was trying to get him. I got him. I beat you. And what would she be saying if she's on TikTok today? See, that's the problem. You old hoes can't hang on to him. I'm 21 years old. I'm fly as hell. I'm lit as hell. I'm at the top of my game. You old hoes just can't do it. 21 gang. 21 gang. If you all believe that that's what she would be saying if she had it all to do over again today, give me the fire emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. It's 2,900 people in here live right now. But if you agree with what I'm saying here tonight, give me the fire emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. Or if folks don't like it, let me go ahead and get done because I got mess going on over here, by the way. Interstate 20 has done a number on things, but that's another story. Mr. Combs picked up Miss Ventura from her apartment in Manhattan in a blue luxury vehicle. He got her living in Manhattan. You damn right. She trying to hang on to that. Miss Ventura was surprised when she got into the car. Mr. Combs was already inebriated. He handed her a pill and told her to take it. She later learned that the pill was ecstasy. This was the first time Mr. Combs got Miss Ventura high. Now, folks, this is a dirty, low down, grimy lawyer, is what I'm telling you right now. This was the first time Mr. Combs got Miss Ventura high. Do you notice the very deceptive, in my opinion, deceptive wording you just heard there? Because what I was waiting to hear was, this was the first time that Miss Ventura ever got high. This was the first time Miss Ventura ever tried illicit drugs. This is the first time Miss Ventura had never tried illicit drugs before, because they've done everything else they can to put it in its context to demonize Puffy. So if this was her first time taking drugs or taking pills, then why is it that that's not the way they worded that sentence? They just said, this was the first time Mr. Combs got Miss Ventura high. Well, this was the first time she got high with him. But it doesn't say that this is her first time getting high, or that this was her first time getting high on pills, or that this is her first time taking pills. For those of you who may not be as astute about this or as sharp about this, you've never had to fight off lawsuits, you've never had to deal with deceptive ass legalese language specifically calibrated and intended to deceive you, to get you to assume things, to try to use tricky words, to get you to assume its meaning, because remember that you are held to the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law. Remember that. You're held to the letter of the law, not the spirit of it. Not the spirit. So I just want you to understand this wording is tricky on here for a reason. You might not realize it was tricky. I'm showing you that's tricky wording. I suspect it is. Then again, maybe she'll come out and let everybody know that she was a virgin and never taken drugs before and never tried pills before, and P. Diddy just sprung her all over the place. But I doubt it. Mr. Combs then proceeded to drive recklessly at a very high speed down the West Side Highway in Manhattan. I've been there a few times. A lot of folks drive crazy over there, by the way. Ms. Ventura was very scared, but did not dare to object to Mr. Combs, who appeared drunk, high, and agitated. All right, well, once she got out, did she take a cab back home? Mr. Combs took Ms. Ventura to an upscale lounge in downtown Manhattan, so it sounded like she was out there living that fast life, literally. But it's all P. Diddy. It's all him. She got nothing to do with it. It's all him. Folks, at what point is a grown woman a grown woman? At what point is a female responsible for her decisions and her associations? At what point is she responsible for it? Or does she just get a lifetime pass? I'm never responsible. It's just, if it turns out great, I take the credit. If it turns out bad, then you take the credit. Ms. Ventura decided to go home, but for the remainder of the night, Mr. Combs messaged Ms. Ventura incessantly, complaining that he left him high and alone. You're going to believe these lawyers? With this kind of astute spell checking, you're going to leave them? You're going to leave them alone? You're going to trust them? In early fall 2007, Mr. Combs flexed his power and influence. when he paid a promoter to create a fake flyer for a party hosted by Ms. Ventura. This fake posting allowed Ms. Ventura to have an excuse to go to Miami, Florida, and get her away from her boyfriend by using the guise of a legitimate event she had to attend. Ms. Ventura was stunned at how easily Mr. Combs was able to recruit others to lie for him. Folks, do you get this right here? He created a fake flyer for a party hosted by Ms. Ventura. She would have known if this was something that she was going to be hosting. So in other words, she got flued out. She got flued out, and she doesn't want to admit that she was sitting up here, had a boyfriend, and yet she was digging Puffy. All these years later, I wonder if we talk to her boyfriend at the time, I wonder what his version of the events will be. I wonder what his version will be. Ms. Ventura was uncomfortable with the fake flyer, but because y'all know what it says about the word but, right? You know it when you hear somebody make a statement and then they say the word but, everything that came before but has been invalidated. Because the request to go to Miami was made by the owner of her record label and because she was scared to go against his wishes and face repercussions to her nascent career, Ms. Ventura agreed to join Mr. Combs in Florida. During this trip to Miami, Mr. Combs provided Ms. Ventura with copious amounts of drugs. She became more intoxicated than she ever had before. More intoxicated than she ever had before. Folks, if this is your first damn time trying drugs when he took you to that previous club and you didn't like it or whatever, what the hell are you doing? In the chat room, somebody said it was Ryan Leslie. Well, we know what happened to him now, don't we? No wonder he didn't trust the industry. No wonder he didn't trust the industry. I wonder what he would have to say. But in any case here, her intoxication lasted throughout the weekend trip. That means she kept getting lit. As she wanted Mr. Combs to continue to support her career, she felt she could not refuse Mr. Combs, urging her to take more drugs. After providing her with drugs, Mr. Combs had sexual intercourse with Ms. Ventura during this trip. So, man, they trying to say he raped her. Over a decade ago. Now they're saying he raped her. Keep that in mind. Now they're saying he raped her. This is serious business. This is not a joke. This is serious. Within 2 years of meeting first Harvey Weinstein, and then, they're coming for the rest of you. They grab Bill Cosby. If they could get Bill Cosby after 40 years, they can get P. Diddy after 16. Yeah, they sure can. If they can go get Bill Cosby after 40 years, they can get P. Diddy after 16. Within 2 years of meeting Mr. Combs, Ms. Ventura found herself lured into the immediate circle of her boss, the owner of her record label, What? And one of those powerful men in the entertainment industry. Mr. Combs exerts control of Ms. Ventura's career and personal life. So, Mr. Combs' aggressive and demanding approach to those he worked with made it impossible for anyone to challenge him. And Ms. Ventura soon learned that Mr. Combs insisted on blind loyalty from everyone in his inner circle. Although Ms. Ventura had saved up some earnings from her young modeling career, Mr. Combs' ostentatious display of wealth was intimidating to her. Intimidating, don't you mean irresistible? Isn't that the whole reason that females get into the modeling industry? So they can get a hold of an older guy who's got some real paper? Not one of their young teeny bopper peers. They want an older dude who's already built. So all she got to do is step into whatever she wants. This is the oldest damn game in the book. And yet they're acting as if, oh, she didn't know any better. She was already in modeling. She was looking for somebody already. And she found him. These attorneys are insulting our intelligence. In the chat room, yes, Kimora Lee Simmons, a long list of them, long list. They're all over the place, circling everywhere. Anybody who has been at the Greyhound bus station in Atlanta, the Greyhound bus station in Los Angeles, the Greyhound bus station in Las Vegas, the Greyhound bus station in New York City, y'all see them get off them buses every single day. You see them every single day getting off them buses, looking for somebody who's balled the hell out to get them on. They want the fast track. They want the fast track. Mr. Combs paid for things with, quote, wads of cash, and would repeatedly tell Ms. Ventura, don't worry about money. I have money. Well, yeah, that's what she came for. She wouldn't be talking to you if you wasn't the bag. That's the game. Now she wants to change the story, and she's got scummy reasons for doing so, I suspect. We'll come back to that later. Mr. Combs expensed lavish vacations for him and Miss Ventura. Now, did you get that? Now, here's the real thing I want you to understand. Do you all understand? It hasn't said a word yet about her breaking up with her boyfriend. Did you notice that? They haven't said the lawyer has transitioned from 2005 to 2007 with her boyfriend, transitioned from that straight to from the start of their relationship. They transitioned straight away. Didn't say a word about she broke up with her boyfriend. Didn't say anything about the details of that. Didn't say anything about the particulars of that. Went fast forwarded right to they're in a relationship. Whoa. And she is lapping, because that puts it in a different context. She eventually decides to leave her boyfriend and begin a relationship with P. Diddy. Now, there's the part that they're leaving out, because if you say that, then that puts literally everything else you're going to read in a different light. But by the way, did you all notice these are some devious, slimy ass lawyers? If you're just reading this straight through and not thinking critically, did you miss the part where they didn't mention that her relationship ended with her previous boyfriend? That was over. Yeah, she said, all right, nigga, that's it. Puffy then gave me the green light. He told me I can be the one and only. I'm out. I'm bouncing. Bye. You ain't never gonna get on. You take a look at Ryan Leslie today, and you take a look at P. Diddy today, and you tell me if she didn't make a very avaricious, greedy decision. You tell me, because they didn't say anything else about her relationship after that trip to Miami. They didn't say anything else about that. Let me tell y'all something, fellas. If you found out that your girl went on a trip to Miami with P. Diddy and that while she was there, she got blitzed. Nigga, she got toe up with drugs and having sex. Fellas, what the hell would you say if your girlfriend went down there, she got toe up? I mean, P. Diddy was swinging like Tarzan from them draws for the whole damn weekend, and then she comes back, baby, I didn't want to do it, but he offered me a record deal, and I don't want to lose my record deal. What? Y'all think about that for a few moments. Well, baby, I didn't want to do it, but I had to. He offered me. Why did you have to do it? Did he hold you down? No. Did he beat you up? No. Did he physically threaten you? No. What? Why did you do it? Well, he gave me a record deal. Remember? I got a record deal now. So I had to keep doing it because I got a record deal. I didn't want to lose my record deal. Now, you see, when Jason Black says it like that, that puts this whole situation in a whole different perspective with this. She was afraid to go against the wishes of her record label owner. So in other words, yeah, you did all this drugging and hoeing because you wanted a record deal. You couldn't keep it real with me. You couldn't stay straight with me. All it took for you to do that was she wanted the record deal. Now that I've explained it to you that way, I think it has a little bit of a different context to it. Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to explain your way out of this one now, isn't it? Mr. Combs expensed lavish vacations for him and Miss Ventura, purchased a car for her, paid for her apartment, and provided her with extensive amounts of designer clothing. So let me explain to you what's wrong with that. She upset because the things he gave her did not legally obligate him to her. So he was giving her the full-fledged 5-star 1%er wife treatment, and yet he After Kim Porter, he didn't make the mistake of state-sponsored marriage. So he got all the benefits and didn't put himself behind the 8 ball. And she was loving it when she was getting it, by the way. So P. Diddy was playing it smart. He was just like, hey, here's a car. Here's a place to live. Yeah, you design the clothing, baby. You good. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, no marriage, and we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We're not doing that. Yeah, no kids. No marriage. That's it. He was just like, I'm going to be here for a minute. Folks, Jason ain't going to steer you wrong. I'm not going to steer you wrong. I told you all about how this works. The company house, the company car, and you do your thing. You do your thing. So, yeah, she was loving that life. And Peter was just like, yeah, after Kim, man, I ain't worried about all that. Nah, I'm not worried about all that. Ms. Ventura's parents were skeptical of the mogul's displays of wealth, but proud of their daughter's newfound success. Newfound success? What the hell? So in other words, the parents were just like, baby, you done hit it big. So just stop that nonsense. The parents they were just like, yeah, baby, you winning. You winning. You winning. You winning. In the chat room, did P. Diddy have kids with Kim? I'm just curious real quick. Did he ever have any children with her? Okay. Somebody tap Unique Glam. My mods are ADHD tonight. Somebody tap Unique Glam on the shoulder. Somebody tap her on the shoulder, y'all. I don't have time to stop right now. Around 2010, Mr. Combs similarly paid for an apartment for Ms. Ventura in Los Angeles, which was located about 5 minutes away from Mr. Combs' residence. So let me get this straight. He got her a place in New York and LA. You mean to tell me that's not what she wanted? So she didn't want none of this. She's trapped. Folks, remember, she's filing this lawsuit because she's telling you I was trapped. That's what she's saying. He trapped me in that New York condo. He trapped me in that Los Angeles condo. He trapped me with that Rolls Royce. He trapped me with the designer. I didn't want none of it, Your Honor. None of it. He trapped me. Can't y'all see? I gotta file this lawsuit. P. Diddy is a predator. Can't you see? He trapped me. That's what she's saying. He trapped me to go down to Miami while I had a boyfriend. Because I wanted to. So she doing all this to hold on to a damn record deal? So we're supposed to believe that going for a record deal, this is it right here. Your brains fall out. You have no control of yourself. You have no self-direction. You have no autonomy. You've got no free will. You've got no self-determination. Somebody offers you a record deal, you are now a slave. You have no self-determination whatsoever. Around 2010, Mr. Combs similarly paid for an apartment for Ms. Ventura in Los Angeles, which is located about 5 minutes away from Mr. Combs' residence. He paid for many of her apartments in California and also purchased a Jaguar for her around 2013 or 2014. All aspects of Ms. Ventura's life were controlled by either Mr. Combs or his management companies. Every event Ms. Ventura attended, from the travel to the makeup and clothing, was paid for directly by Mr. Combs and his affiliated companies, compounding this all-encompassing intrusion into her life. Folks, she's letting this dude pay. So every female, ladies, listen to what she's saying. What she's saying is that any man who pays for anything for any of you, that's an unwelcome intrusion into your lives. So in other words, a woman doesn't have to commit to anything. I mean, I'm white and I say so. So in other words, no female can submit. If a man does anything for you, that is an intrusion. That's an intrusion. If he does anything he does, there's nothing that you do or experience or can have that is a product of your free will. Everything is an intrusion. Everything. All right. That's what they're saying here. That this paying a woman's rent is an intrusion. Paying for her clothes is an intrusion. Buying her a car is an intrusion. Mr. Combs first introduced Ms. Ventura to opiates around 2008 and would often have pills and other drugs out in the open like candy. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs has been addicted to prescription painkillers and took ecstasy frequently. At first, Ms. Ventura was given the prescriptions that Mr. Combs received from a doctor in Miami, Florida. Eventually, when Mr. Combs exhausted his supply of pills, he demanded that Ms. Ventura procure prescriptions from this Miami doctor in her own name. Mr. Combs also became deeply involved in Ms. Ventura's personal life, with his personal staff attending to Ms. Ventura's day-to-day travel and other needs, including medical care. On multiple occasions, Mr. Combs had Ms. Ventura's personal medical records sent directly to his email address. For instance, when Ms. Ventura began experiencing memory loss, potentially due to excessive drug use and or head injuries caused by Mr. Combs' beatings, as described below, her MRI results were provided directly to Mr. Combs. That doesn't mean that she didn't get them. Mr. Combs also repeatedly arranged for his staff to drive Ms. Ventura to certain doctor's appointments. At no point did he deny her medical care, but okay. In this way, Mr. Combs exerted ownership over ownership, folks. So driving a woman to her doctor's appointments is exerting ownership. So every Uber, Lyft, and taxi cab in the country. All right. As another example of the ways in which he manipulated Ms. Ventura and ensured obedience. Early on in their relationship, he asked Ms. Ventura what she called her grandfather. Baby, this is your lawyer? This is your lawyer. This is her, when Mr. Ventura, this is her lawyer. No, this is a completely legitimate lawsuit. Completely legitimate. How can any of you question this? How can any of you dare to question the validity of this lawsuit and this sterling legal professional who drafted it? How can any of you do that? When Miss Ventura said that she referred to her grandfather as Pop Pop, first of all, what black folk call their never mind. Mr. Combs perversely insisted that Miss Ventura refer to him with that nickname. Ladies, how many of you are so desperate when you were 21 years old? You were so desperate for a record deal to keep your record deal that if the owner of the record label said, "Call me what you call your granddaddy," that you would just sit there and say, "Yes, sir." How many ladies that when you were 21 years old, you're like, "Well, Jason, I got to keep that record deal. They offered me a record deal, Jason. I gotta hold on like In Vogue, Jason. I got to do it." Now, the truth is there's a bunch of you who would. Now, the real truth is there's a bunch of you who would. But the truth is you would be doing it voluntarily. Ain't nobody sat up here and had to coerce you, twist your arm or nothing. These girls would call him Pappy, Mommy, Daddy, Mother, Meemaw. Most of you chicks, you would call him whatever in the hell he said he wanted to be called. If your mother's name was Susan, you'd be telling call "Hey Susan." So just keeping it down like faux flats. Most of you females, you would do it too, but We're going to pretend like you wouldn't really do that. But the truth is, if you did it, it would be voluntary. Now, that much is for certain. Mr. Combs' relationship becomes violent and abusive. What started as a whirlwind of celebrity meetings and drug and alcohol-fueled parties, however, quickly turned frightening and violent. Ms. Ventura was also exposed to the intense violence that pervaded Mr. Combs' rise to fame. For example, on one occasion when Mr. Combs and Ms. Ventura were using drugs together in his home. Folks, on one occasion when Ms. Ventura and Mr. Combs were doing drugs together in his home, one of his security staff barged in and announced that Suge Knight, a longtime rival of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in Los Angeles. Mr. Combs began to get dressed, retrieved multiple guns from a safe, and ran out of his home to where he believed Mr. Knight was dining. Ms. Ventura became terrified and began to cry. She does a lot. Wouldn't she be happy if he went and got himself murked? If she's being held prisoner? So, folks, she's here voluntarily. She's here willfully. She's here happily. The other thing is, P. Diddy ain't going to do a damn thing to Suge Knight himself. He is not going to do a damn thing to Suge Knight in Los Angeles. First of all, he's not going to do anything to Suge Knight anywhere because he's going to get other people to try that for him. But y'all, P. Diddy is not going to do a damn thing to anybody. He's going to drive around and see if he can go pay somebody else to go do this life sentence for him. He's not going to do a damn thing to anyone. But she's got to exaggerate and blow up this lawsuit. So, all right. On at least 2 occasions, Mr. Combs demanded that Ms. Ventura hold Mr. Combs' gun in her purse. Ms. Ventura had no familiarity with guns and was petrified that the firearm would accidentally go off in her purse. There was no clear reason why Mr. Combs required her to hold his guns, except to reinforce to his young girlfriend that he was violent, powerful, and dangerous. Didn't he just sit up here and say that, by the way, him and Suge Knight beefing? And... Folks, look here. Fellas, you know the drill. You know the deal. You know the deal. P. Diddy ain't gonna walk around with no damn gun. He could get frisked at any moment. This is stupid. This lawyer is insulting all of our intelligence right now. Hell no, he ain't gonna have the gat on him. He's gonna, hey baby, hold this. Hold this. Hold this. We living that life, and guess what? She's out there with him. She is living that life with him. She is liking the fast money, the fast cars, the excitement, the adrenaline rush. She is in that. She is in the middle of it, and she loving every minute. That's why she stuck around for over a decade. She loving every minute of it. Now that the money done dried up, I don't like it now. I don't like this. In the chat room, Sable, we're going to have you call up here in a little bit. We'll have you call in just a little bit, so you just hang on there. So glad you got questions. We're going to have you call up, and that is not a request. By the way, that is not a friendly request. You have questions, I got answers. Over the next decade, people, once you hear that sentence right there, you don't need to hear nothing else. A decade, baby, you ain't nobody's prisoner for a damn decade. Over the next decade, multiple times each year, Mr. Combs would violently beat Miss Ventura, leaving bruises on her body. After every instance in which he beat Miss Ventura, Mr. Combs used his money and power to orchestrate extensive efforts to hide the evidence of his abuse, including by hiding Miss Ventura in hotels for days at a time to let her bruises heal. Come on! In one such instance, after a party with Jay-Z, Mr. Combs beat Ms. Ventura repeatedly in an Escalade, including by kicking and hitting. How does he kick her in an Escalade? How do you do that? I own one. Can't stand up in it. Unless he's standing up. Is he standing up out of the moonroof? What is he doing? What is he doing? Is he standing up out of the moonroof? Come on, folks. What is he doing? What is he doing here? Come on. How the hell is he standing up in it? How the hell is he standing up in there? Is he kicking her? What? What? Explain to me the physics of that. So just remember, when they're accusing a black man of something, we all become super nigga. So this guy is in there kung fu fighting in an Escalade. We just become supernatural. We really do. Black men just becomes ultra nigga. We all become Bruce Leroy. It's just we can walk through walls. We can kick niggas while we sitting down, sitting next to them, not even in front of them. Like you're both sitting side by side in the truck, and yet you still were able to get a foot up and kick him in the side. Boy, we just become amazing. We just become incredible. We really do. Is anybody reading the sentences of this damn thing? He forced her out of the vehicle on 5th Avenue in New York City. Okay, well, the relationship is over, right? She was eventually able to hail a cab and get to her apartment in Manhattan, where she cried in fear, realizing there was no one she could tell about what had happened at the hands of this incredibly powerful man. She spent the subsequent 3 days hiding in her apartment. Wait a minute, so you mean she didn't break up with him? He told her, he put hands and foots on her and then told her, Wench, get the hell out. She got out, got a cab back to the apartment that he pays for, and she just said she spent the days crying there. The man ain't doing nothing to her. Think about that for a few moments. Nothing. So the relationship is over at this point, right, Cassie? Hell no. She's like, oh no, I got the bag. I ain't gonna let it go. I got the bag. In January 2009, after Mr. Combs learned that Ms. Ventura spoke to another music manager. So in other words, she didn't stop. This was in New York. She spoke to another music manager at a party in Los Angeles. Folks, okay, look, let me explain to you. There will be some of you here who won't like what I'm saying. That's fine. You cannot like it here, but let me go ahead and just talk to the women right quick. Ladies, how many women listen to me right now? You have a girlfriend, a sister, or whatever. Her and that nigga have damn me knockdown drag-outs every other damn weekend. She is always on your phone boo-hooing, singing the blues about what that nigga done did and this, that, and the other. And it done gone on for years. To the fellas in here, how many of you have sisters, cousins, whatever? And every time you turn around, she talking about this nigga is sitting up here giving her the people's elbow. Okay. Give me the hand up emoji if that's you. If you got sisters, cousins, females that you know, to the ladies listening to me right now. If you got other females you know, females you're related to, and they always tell you about how this nigga's always smacking her up and this, that, and the other. Okay, how many of y'all know them folk personally? Give me a hand up emoji. Because here's my thing. How many of you have tried to break it up? How many of you have tried to stop that? Men get killed. Sitting up here swinging in with your damn cape talking about you gonna sit up here and save her from this barbarian. Talking about how you gonna save her from this dude. How many fellas are sitting here right now? You talking about you gonna save her from what's his name? Fellas are getting killed. Fellas are getting maimed. And that's why the females won't do it. See, the men are stupid. We're dumb. But the women ain't even gonna try to do nothing with that. The females listening here, they ain't gonna even try. The women are dead quiet. You know why? Because y'all know better. Every single female in here listening right now, you know better than that. There's not a single chick in here when we try to get in the middle of that, because y'all know how y'all do that. Like, baby, if she goes back over there, only thing that's going to happen is we both going to get our asses broke open. Nah, she's good. If she could find a Uber to my place, she can find a U-Haul out of his. If she can find a U-Haul to his place, she can find a Uber. She can find an Uber to his place. She can find a U-Haul out of his. She can find a U-Haul out of his. These folks right here, man, they'll just tell you anything. They'll tell you anything. In the car leaving the club, Mr. Combs beat Miss Ventura, pushing her into a corner of the vehicle and stomping on her face. He's doing that again? Really? I mean, is that the case? Folks, how is he doing this? How is he doing this? How is he doing this? Someone explain to me how in the hell he is doing that. This is an amazing nigga if he can get that done like that, folks. Come on now. What is going on here? How the hell are you doing that? This man is sitting up here. He's able to walk through damn me walls. He's able to sit up here and get that stuff. He's able to stand up in the Escalade, stand up in the limousine. This man is amazing. This man is simply amazing. Some of y'all fellas, we're going to have to learn some of that car food. That's what we're going to have to work on. We got to work on settling that, learning some of that car food. We got to work on that is what we got to do. We got to work on that. We got to work on that. All right, folks. I'm getting information here. And please don't spam in the chat room, folks. That's not cool. Don't do that. Don't do that. But there's reports that are coming out. I'm not 1,000% certain. I don't like going off of things we're just hearing. I don't like that. So I like to get more corroboration. But Cassie is so devastated to all the folks who want to come to her rescue. Hey, Sable. If this is accurate, she's so upset about it that, yeah, there's reports coming in there saying that. Let me see if that's what they say. The New York Times says it. So the New York Times says that Cassie said, yeah, my lawyer told me to take what he was offering. My lawyer told me to take what he was offering. So, yeah. My lawyer said take what he was offering. Yeah, this lawsuit was so terrible. It's so awful. She is so determined to get justice. She is so determined to get justice that she's already settling the suit. It comes one day after she filed an explosive complaint. The New York Times and everybody else who came to her defense and talking about believe all women, all this old garbage, y'all look like straight asses. This chick just sat up here and played the hell out of all you dummies who sat up here and tried to support her. And guess what? Keke Palmer gonna be next. She just sat here and played the hell out of every moron, every idiot, every feminist, every jackass who just tried to come to her defense. She just made all of y'all look like straight asses. She made all of y'all look like straight booty asses. Y'all sitting up here, this is finally it. Why, Jason, you're on the wrong side of this, Jason. You're on the wrong side of this. 24 hours later, She made every single one of you look like big booty asses. Could you be more stupid? Yes, this was about getting the bag, but I'm going to explain why in a little bit because I want you to have the details that neither the New York Times nor anybody else is going to discuss here. All right, they claim he did more abuse to her. They claim that. He bought more gifts. She accepted. Now, here's the part right here. If you want to know what this lawsuit is really about, this is the part right here. Now, I'm not going to use all the language that they have in this lawsuit, but you tell me if somebody did this to you and you were suing, so we're going to settle out of court. All right. Within a few months of beginning a romantic relationship with 40-year-old Mr. Combs, the 22-year-old Ms. Ventura felt beholden to his whims and demands. While in New York City, Mr. Combs told Ms. Ventura that he wanted to engage in a fantasy he called voyeurism. Mr. Combs said that it would turn him on if he saw Ms. Ventura with another dude. The first time, Cassie, the first time what? The first time Mr. Combs hired a man and brought the man to his home in Los Angeles. The man, Mr. Combs, and Ms. Ventura wore masquerade masks. What does this nigga think he is? Eyes wide shut? Well, she went along with it. Come on now, this is years later. So she's like, hey, everybody, she still wants that record deal, right? She still wants, hey, ladies, how many of you want that record deal bad enough? How many of you want to keep your record deal and your apartment in New York and your apartments, plural, in California and your Jaguar and your clothes and your Birkin? Ladies, line up. If you're under the age of 22. The first time Mr. Combs hired a man and brought the man to his home in Los Angeles, the man, Mr. Combs, and Ms. Ventura wore masquerade masks and ingested drugs. Mr. Combs directed Ms. Ventura to perform sexual acts with this man while Mr. Combs watched them. He masturbated while he directed Ms. Ventura and the man to do specific sexual acts. The entire encounter lasted multiple days. Multiple days. Folks, they said multiple days, plural. What? Days. Damn. Come on now. Days? Oh, she's with the business. She's with the business. Come on now. Pretty soon she'll come out and tell you all she's bisexual. Mr. Combs began to call the arrangement a freak off, or FO. He would repeatedly tell Ms. Ventura at random moments that he wanted an FO, and Ms. Ventura was eventually expected to facilitate the location and the hiring of male sex workers. Well, it sounds like she's doing some trafficking herself, isn't she? Sounds to me like she's doing some trafficking herself, isn't she? Yeah, it sounds like she's gone from being expected to going around and being the arranger. She got a promotion in management. Sounds like she's doing the trafficking. At certain points during Ms. Ventura and Mr. Combs' relationship, he would insist on an FO weekly. Mr. Combs would repeatedly tell Ms. Ventura that this practice was, quote, our thing and our secret. Clearly, it's not a secret if she dialing people up. FOs would often take place in hotel suites, inside the Trump International Hotel in Columbus Circle, L'Hermitage, Beverly Hills, the London Hotel in Los Angeles, the Intercontinental Century City. Folks, hey, P. Diddy, I need to come sue you. Boy, I hope I ain't been in one of these places. The Intercontinental New York, the One Hotel in New York and Miami, the Mandarin Oriental in New York, the Fountain Blue in Miami. Hey, there's a bunch of us who've been to the Fountain Blue. Damn. Hey, we all want to file a class action lawsuit on Puffy. I ain't trying to follow up on no sheets he been on, because I know how he gets down. Oh, we got to file this class action on him. Folks, come on. Oh, I've been to some of these places. I wasn't doing what he was doing, but I've been to a number of these places they just named. Hey, I need to be calling my attorney. I need to be calling my attorney. I need to be calling mine. I need to be calling mine. Yeah, after he doing all that right there, I need to be calling mine. I'm just saying here, folks, these are sites and locations that I'm familiar with here. I'm familiar with them. So I'm like, okay, man, look here, I might have to just change my... Is there a place this nigga ain't been defiling? In the chat room, Legacy of the Dark Side. Hey, nigga, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what rooms you're in. Jason is, they got the double twin bedroom there, that gives you a wonderful view with a brick wall next to the building. No, sir, that ain't me. No, sir, no. No, you, me, and Diddy ain't going to the same rooms. We're really not. No, sir. I know what rooms he gonna get, and that's why I'm like, hey, I bet you I can tell him what the room looks like. I bet you I can tell him what the room looks like. Just saying. Tell me what hotel it is. Tell me the 3 most expensive rooms in the building. I bet you I can tell you what that room looks like on the inside. I bet you I can tell you. Yeah, let me call my damn... I might have to end this program early so I can get my lawyer on the phone and let him know I've been traumatized. Hey, dude, well, I know it's 10 o'clock. Get your ass up. P. Diddy has given me emotional abuse. He has given me emotional abuse. Wake your ass up. She's letting him out of court. I'm taking him back. Y'all, let me tell you, I don't even want to think about it. I'm like, hey, y'all can't just change the sheets. You got to change the whole mattress, the rugs. Y'all got to rip all this out. Y'all got to come take all this out. No, y'all know Diddy. I don't want to be... Y'all, I'm just saying, boy, he was probably dripping all over the place. I'm like, oh, look here. No, I'm not having it. No, don't flip the mattress over. That little old scam y'all run. No, you cannot flip the mattress over. No, this got to go. I don't give a damn. If he checks in, everything else in here got to check out. No, the mattress, the rugs... The shower curtains or glass, everything got to go. I'm not having it. No. I don't know about the rest of y'all. Those are the things I got to think about. I have to consider that. It's like, oh, no. Diddy got this sweet? Oh, hell no. Folks, I'm just telling you here. I'm not trying to give out too many details. I'm just letting you know that, by the way. All right. Y'all, this is a long ass list of hotels, ain't it? Y'all, he ran this broad like a Airbnb. I'm just telling y'all. He ran this chick like a Airbnb. Just every hotel he was at, it's just like, oh, she was getting slutted out. Take a look at this list. Trump International, L'Hermitage, the London Hotel, the Intercontinental Century City, the Intercontinental Atlanta, the Intercontinental New York. So he's a IHG member too. I bet you we're both diamond members. Damn! Oh, I bet you we're both diamond members. Damn it! Oh, this has ruined my damn... Why did I have to read this story? I should have read the lawsuit first. I shouldn't have just done this cold like this. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I should have done this differently, man. I should have done this differently. I bet you we're both diamond members. He done hit up the whole damn spot, all the spots that they keep giving us the inside track. Goes, oh man, now I got to go to all these places. Did he stay here? When's the last time that nigga came? When did you change the match? Oh, I gotta, And these are just the ones she put in the lawsuits, people. These are just, he went to the damn Wilshire Grand in Los Angeles. Damn. He been there. So I'm like, okay, they named New York. IHG, Wilshire Grand, Los Angeles. Oh, I know you been there. I'm like, all right. Put me on a lower floor from here on in. I usually like to be on one of the top floors. Yeah, from here on in, put me on a lower floor. Yeah, I got a feeling I can tell Diddy been around. Put me on a lower floor, please. Thank you. On one occasion around 2013, Mr. Combs set up an FO. Mr. Combs had an FO set up at the Intercontinental Hotel in New York, after which he was charged with tens of thousands of dollars in damages to the hotel. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs' chief of staff, Tony Fletcher, paid the invoice charged by the hotel. Folks, do you see why I don't want to go back? Tens of thousands of dollars, quote, in damages. What did he damage? Because I'm telling you right now, the bed is going to be 5 G's. I'm telling you right now, the cost to replace that bed is going to be $5,000. So what did they do on the bed? How many dudes was up in there? What did they have Cassie doing? Hey, Cassie, I ain't trying to put your business out there, baby, but what did they have you doing over there? Just asking for a friend. Because it seems like she bearing her soul now. On one occasion, let me go back to this. Ms. Ventura was eventually instructed to use websites and escort services to find male sex workers. So did they really play Travelocity on here? He had her playing Travelocity. This is what he was doing with this young tender thing. She was so wide open. He just said, baby, look here, we're just going to go full hotels.com. We're just going full Expedia. I don't need to do this custom stuff no more. It's just, here, baby, you got the app. Set it up. Set it up. Set it up. Set it up. Set it up for him. Man, look here. When you get that far along, boy, I'm telling you. Boy, I'm telling you. No wonder. Folks, this next one, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with this. Ms. Ventura was eventually instructed to use websites and escort services to find male sex workers to participate in the FOs. Mr. Combs told Miss Ventura to search for large black yikes on the website. What? He told her to search for large black people on the website. Sometimes Mr. Combs would pay to fly male sex workers to his location, including to multiple cities in the United States as well as abroad. He required Miss Ventura and his staff to help him make the arrangements. Folks, he's not a businessman, he's a businessman. Can't y'all tell? He's running a business, man. Of course, he can't be expected to do all this himself. That's why he pays people. He can't be expected to line up all these big black people at all of these extensive locations. He can't arrange and schedule all this by himself. He got to have some help. It's called an open secret. He got to have some help. Mr. Combs' assistants would help to set up the FOs, including by setting up the hotel suites with baby oil and Astroglide.
Damn! Auntie, chill!
Alrighty then.
Folks, my fragile little mind. Baby oil and Astroglide? I guess you can't bring it on the plane. I guess it's not... TSA won't let you bring that much on the plane, and Cassie was just sitting there like, hey, the Johnson & Johnson's is sold out. Will you settle for the Great Value brand? Folks, baby oil and Astroglide. Y'all, we're not moist enough to read this story. Most of us ain't. Some of you are. But yeah, I'm not moist enough really to handle all this. I'm like, hey, I'm just on the outside looking in. I don't know if I can do any of this. Shaheen, baby, this is the age of Google. What are you doing? What's Astroglide? Baby, look here, I need some of y'all to get above a third grade and like, you got Google. You literally can go Google that. Can somebody tell me what that is? No, baby, we can't tell you nothing. Just Google is your friend. Stop treating it like an adversary. Mr. Combs always supplied Miss Ventura and the sex workers with copious amounts of drugs before and during the FOs. Miss Ventura was given ecstasy. Y'all, do you all hear this? Miss Ventura was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol in excessive amounts during the FOs. So let me get this straight. In addition to getting rodeoed in every hotel suite known to man coast to coast, in addition to all of that, your girl Cassie was getting toked up on ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol. She was getting lit up. She was getting lit up. Now you put that in its context of everything else. All these other things going on. She going down to Miami. Does this sound like a naive girl, or does this sound like a chick who was in the business? That's what I'm telling you. Does this sound like some naive victim, or does this sound like a chick who was in the business? Like all the others that she was already clubbing and doing that stuff. Yeah, sound like a city girl, don't it? Sound like a city girl. Sounds like a city girl, don't it? In the chat room, to all the slow bus and short bus kids talking about they settled, y'all are all late. Just because you're slow doesn't mean the rest of us are. Take the rest of the night off. Try to get somewhere in your life. She did them in excessive amounts, which allowed her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. Okay, what about the stuff she was doing before she met Diddy? Adina, you so right. How was she gonna make them 10 damn albums when she's sitting up here fighting off all these big black people? I mean, folks, did y'all ever see Cassie in concert? Cause she was getting flued out and laid up in more hotels than she did concert appearances, didn't she? Baby, if you done more tours at the IHG than you did at Staples Center in Madison Square Garden. If you had been this dedicated to making tour dates here, you could have had a music career. I'm just saying, she made more dates at the IHG than she did at Airlines Arena. All right. It became commonplace to get IV fluids in the days after an FO to recover from the excessive substances pushed upon her. Boy, I'm telling you, all right. All right. Ms. Ventura was required to dress up in lingerie for an FO, and Mr. Combs insisted she wear white nail polish to contrast her nails with the skin of the black men he hired to have sex with her. Folks, when do you just accept Cassie at a certain point, baby? He saw how loose you were, how fast you were, and you just became the toss-up. At what point do you accept that he was like, yeah, I ain't gonna do, baby, look here, this is what you're good for. At what point do you accept that that's what the deal is? Mr. Combs would then instruct Ms. Ventura and the sex workers to speak to each other and then would specifically tell Ms. Ventura where to touch the sex workers. Mr. Combs would say things like, grab that. What? Oh, I can't say this. I can't say this. In the chat room, if y'all keep giving the slow news, I'm going to start banning people. So you've been duly warned. If you come in here with the slow news, you're gonna get banned. I'm gonna start telling my mods to ban people if you continue doing that. So you've been warned. Mr. Combs would say things like, grab that big black. And I'm just, wow. And ask her, how does it feel, as he directed her to perform for him. So Diddy was making the flick. Diddy was making a flick, and Cassie was the featured star. You can dream about her being naked. P. Diddy got her over there doing unbelievably nasty things.
Auntie, chill.
Y'all, he got your girl. You dreaming about her. He's got her up there doing unbelievably nasty things. Oh, he has got her laid out like pancakes. You sitting over there wishing it? He's got her laid out like pancakes. Man. Can you believe? I'm telling you. And I'm trying to sanitize this, but he's making it too hard. Did it do what you do, but you're making it too hard for me to keep this sanitized. During the FOs, in addition to directing Miss Ventura and masturbating, Mr. Combs would use his phone, laptop, and tablet to film. Dude, just bring a DSLR. All right. I'm not trying to give you no ideas, Diddy, but I'll be damned. He would use his phone, laptop, and tablet to film Miss Ventura having sex with the hired sex worker. I mean, he was like, hey, did I bring enough SD cards? Diddy, Do you have enough memory on those devices, bruh? I'm just saying, Cassie, he ran out of memory recording you. He just said, man, I gotta bring everything. Phone, laptop, tablet. Damn, where did I leave my iPhone at? He treated the forced encounter, it's not forced, as a personal art project. Adjusting the candles he used for lighting to frame the videos he took. Folks, Diddy was doing it otherworldly. Diddy was doing it out of this world. He ain't off the chain. He's off the planet, y'all. He's off the world. Diddy said, vanilla sex just don't do nothing for me. When I say that I need some romantic lighting, I mean I need romantic lighting like Hollywood. I need romantic lighting like the set of The Sopranos. I need romantic lighting like a Steven Spielberg movie. That's what I mean by lighting. P. Diddy was trying to get a damn me Academy Award at the IHG. He was trying to get an Academy Award. While Ms. Ventura quickly deleted any photographs or videos of sex acts if they were taken on her phone, Mr. Combs repeatedly made clear that he retained many videos of Ms. Ventura during the FOs. Oh, shucky ducky. Damn. Boy, so that means that Diddy can just go back through the Rolodex? He can just go back. People, at this point, Sean Combs has a video library. He can just go through there and whatever sex act he wants to see her performing at that time, he can just go ahead and dial that up.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
I mean, he can basically go now. He's got a catalog. He's got her music catalog and he's got her adult film catalog. All to keep her record deal. Now, if you think this is about a damn record deal, you're a lying fool to yourself. This is about keeping that life. She's got apartments every damn where, and if all she got to do is do something strange to keep that change, she gonna do what 90% of the women listening to me right now would do, because the only problem with the fellas who are sitting here right now is that they haven't named our price high enough. That's the problem. They haven't named the price high enough. Fellas, if you want to know what y'all are doing wrong, you ain't offering a big enough bag. Now, if these women were going to be totally honest with y'all, that's what they would tell you. The problem isn't that you want to do that stuff. The problem is the bag you offering ain't big enough to do it. Now, if you could throw that bag big enough, 90% of the females, and that includes the ones in my chat room right now and listening live or recorded, the only problem they got with it is that young little light-skinned thing got it and they weren't eligible. Ladies, I got to read the mail tonight because you know I'm telling nothing but facts. You ain't got no problem with doing it if the bag were big enough. So the only reason you tell these other fellas screw off is because he ain't offering enough. But if they did get their paper stacked where it's supposed to be, y'all would be lined up with the rest of them. So quit the fronting. I respect an honest hoe. I just respect an honest one. That's all. Just, hey, as long as you keep it up front, how can I get mad at you? I can't be mad at your honesty. Even when she deleted the videos, Mr. Combs would tell Ms. Ventura that he was able to recover deleted videos from her devices. Which is true. On one occasion, he sat next to her on a flight and made her watch a video she thought she had deleted, reinforcing her inability to escape and the immense power he held over her. Ms. Combs would pay the male sex workers a few $1,000s in cash Well, Mr. Combs would pay them a few $1,000s in cash for their services. During some FOs, Mr. Combs would become extremely intoxicated and would hit Ms. Ventura in front of the male sex workers. Ms. Ventura was repulsed by Mr. Combs' demands, but between the physical beating and recognizing his incredible power and incredible temper, Ms. Ventura became petrified of her partner and boss and felt that she could not say no. Folks, do you still think this is all about a damn record deal? She's in the business. She in the life. And she would slit any one of your throats if you tried to get in the way. Here we go again. He even would present her with lavish gifts prior to or in the middle of the FOs, seemingly acknowledging the ways in which these forced sexual encounters constituted work for Ms. Ventura and that he needed to compensate her for this work. Baby, you the toss-up. You're the toss-up. That's it. It ain't that serious. It is not that serious for him, baby. He's got you and a few others. It is what it is. This is what you wanted. This is what you pursued. This is what you were trying to get. Don't hate the player or the game. Hate your coach. This is what you signed up for. You wanted to have your turn with P. Diddy. It was just your turn. That's all. It was just your turn. Now she's angry and upset all these years later because it was just her turn. So you all see what was going on here. You all see what was happening. She was getting laid out and slayed out everywhere, and she was loving it until eventually a decade later, P. Diddy decides, yeah, you ain't the bottom B anymore. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. She tries to escape. She ain't tried to escape in the damn decade. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. The attorneys are going to keep lying. You already said that he assaulted her. Yeah, she's so upset about it that she's settling it. Yeah, she's been sexually assaulted so bad that she's settling the case. She was sexually assaulted so bad. Cassie is so upset over it that she's settling the case. Okay, let me go ahead and explain to y'all what the hell really happened here. Let me explain to you what's really going on. First of all, P. Diddy is giving his artists back their publishing if they sign NDAs. What she is doing is showing him, well, P. Diddy, the publishing is useless now because we didn't sell that much and you got all the benefit of it when the songs first got their initial release. So the only person who's actually caked off for it is you. Now, everybody knows that chick, the white girl with Danity Kane, I think it was. Was it Danity Kane? Who's been going around telling the other girls and stuff like that, don't sign the NDAs and don't do that. To get the publishing, don't sign the NDAs. Cassie is showing them, oh, I'm going to get the bag and I don't need an NDA. I'm going to get the bag. I'm going to get the money I should have gotten from the publishing. I'm going to get it without an NDA, without signing an agreement. I'm going to get my bag. I got an alternative. That's what she's showing you. I got an alternative. I got an alternative. So I'm just letting you all know that that's what that's really about. That's what that's really about. Keep that in mind. After all this time, she found a way to get the bag by alternative means. She was like, hey, y'all ain't did with this man what I've done with him. There's more than one way to strip this bank account. There's more than one way to do that. Somebody in the chat room said, making the band. Yeah, she said there's more than one. Oh, he's making y'all jump through hoops. Oh, I'm going to get my bag the other way. But there was also another reason for that. There's another reason for that. Here's the reason. Here's the reason. If you want to know what this is all really about, this is who it's really about. It's about this guy. I submit to you and I suggest to you that this is who all of this is really about. You take a look at her. She is zaddied up. Take a look at that face. She is zaddied up. She's zaddied up. So I want you all to understand, this guy here is a personal trainer. These websites that keep talking about he's worth millions, you'll find websites, some places you never heard of. HotNewHipHop.com. But he's not involved in hip hop. What the hell? Now, this one here is dated September 2023 and says that he has a net worth of $5 million. This article here is dated November, and it says he has a net worth of $2 million. So to me, this seems like some of these old phony ads that somebody puts out there somewhere so they can get a blue check mark. So they can go get their blue check. Oh, what do you know? He's got a blue check mark on Instagram. What do you know, folks? He's got a blue check mark on Instagram and over 300,000 followers. Well, what do you know? What do you know? Oh, well, I just have a few questions about some of these numbers I see here because, yeah, it seems like a bunch of websites you never heard of. So that if you Google him and his net worth, it'll come up on Instagram or they'll be able to research it and, okay, there he is. All right. Okay, he's got 360,000 followers on Instagram. I mean, it's not fantastic, but not bad. Who is he? I mean, they're talking about this guy is worth millions. They say he's worth millions. I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. I think that's novel. By the way, I couldn't help but notice this. This is his Facebook. And he's the owner of something called Alex Fine Performance. So that's where he's a trainer. He has his own training business that he calls Alex Fine Performance. That's great. Couldn't help but notice one thing. This says call, text, or message if you're interested in a session or package. So let me get this straight. This is a guy who's worth millions of dollars. He's worth millions of dollars, and yet anybody can call, text, or message him if they're interested in a session or a pack. I bet you can't call or text or message Diddy. Okay. I just couldn't help but notice that. He's so busy, but you can call, text, or message him. You mean the same way his wife can? We can do that? All right. All right, let me tell you what I believe occurred. What I believe occurred is that Cassie and Diddy broke up in 2018. According to the articles and things, Cassie and Diddy had broken up in 2018, and she was dating this guy 2 months later, by December 2018, and she had had her first child almost a year later. Talk about a rebound. Talk about a rebound. No, folks, I'm serious. Within a year of, according to what I read, within a year of breaking up with Diddy, within a year, she got with this dude. 2018, they broke up. 2019, according to what I was reading there, she got the first kid. So somebody explain to me. Somebody explain that to me. I'd like to know. Sounds like a hell of a rebound to me. Sounds like a hell of a rebound to me. Hell of a rebound, don't you all think? Now, do you all think that when Alex Fine, do you think that when he chose to get his Russell Wilson on, and he decided that he would test the waters of getting married, because he's married to her now, she's married to him now, they're married now, they've been married for 4 years now, they've been married for 4 years. Do you think that when he married her that he knew all this? Do you think that when he married her that he knew all this? Do you think that he was aware of what she had been doing at the Trump International and the L'Hermitage and the London Hotel and the Intercontinental and the other Intercontinental and another Intercontinental and the National Intercontinental and the One and the Mandarin and the Fontainebleau and the Beverly Hills and the Shutters? Do you all think he knew this when she shimmied her way up to him 4 years ago? Do you think he was aware of that? You take a look at this right here, boy. He thinks he's living the life, don't he? Okay. Do you all think he was aware of that? I suggest to you, no, he wasn't. He wasn't, because now, folks, you realize that she's running the Kim Kardashian playbook now, right? When she was in the life and when she was with the man, she was all the way about the business. As soon as she lost her in and she tries to go to the square world, because that's how far she's fallen. She used to be with a guy this is what happens, man. When you lose your in, you got to just go make it with whatever you can. You got to go take whoever will take you. The real options you want are no longer there. So he's sitting up here telling himself, well, I'll take my chance to spin the dice. Roll the dice. How bad could it possibly be? And then you find out, whoa! So that means I'm willing to wager that he recently found out some gruesome details. And he asked her the question that they usually ask the white women. So, did you want to do it? Oh, no, baby, no, baby, I didn't really want to do no, baby, don't, please don't leave. No, baby, I didn't want to do none of that right there. See, he tricked me. See, he plowed me with drugs. I was a victim of abuse. I was sexually trafficked. I was raped. I was pulled. I was robbed. I was pickpocketed. No, baby, I didn't do it. I didn't want to do no, baby, I didn't want to do none of that right there. Then why haven't you done something about it? And then she went and she ran for the first lawyer she could get a hold of. That's what I suspect occurred. This man found out some gruesome details recently. And he started saying to himself, I don't really know if I can fool with you like that. Now that I know all this, you were doing that for a decade? That's not just a crazy wild ass summer. Whoa, fellas, if your broad been set out by 40, 50, 60, in her case, the ticker may still be running dudes, man, that's not an oversight. That's not a youthful indiscretion. That's not a mistake. She belongs to the business. She belongs to the block. And you're the dumbass who sat up here and grabbed, you didn't even get P. Diddy's leftovers, nigga. He went in the damn garbage can. Let me see if there's anything over there. That was it, man. So now he's looking at the scoreboard and he's saying, I'll be damned. I got P. Diddy's sloppy tenths. I got a bunch of these escorts, sloppy thirds, fourths, and fifths, because most likely P. Diddy had some, quote, favorites that he would call whenever he was in town. Hey, Jamal, I'm down here in Brooklyn today. Think you can drop by this afternoon? Sure I can, P. All right, brother, see you then. I thought I told you that. We won't stop. In any case, I suspect that Mr. Fine did not truly appreciate the gravity of what he was in. I suggest to you that he thought that Cassie had been there for just a quick second, but that she hadn't been really off in that long, so that she would just get totally tore up. And now he's found out, brother, she been on drugs. She ain't been run through. She been run over. And you are the poor, dumb, dipstick bastard who's gotten married and had a few kids with her. And you've been stuck with the bill. And he was like, oh, hell no. So he sent her out on a seek and destroy mission, and the only way we gonna be okay is now you gotta go slaughter P. Diddy. You gotta go slaughter him. Now you gotta go slaughter him. And I'm just telling y'all right now, Alex Fine, because I know it. I can't prove it, but I know from everything I've seen and experienced in life, you were the driving force behind this. And I'm not saying that you told her she had to, but I'm saying that you found out and you didn't approve. And you said, yeah, you better go get him. And you might be telling yourself that you can overlook or forget all of this as long as she goes and does something about it. Brother, this gonna eat away at your soul like it did Kanye. This isn't gonna go away. This is gonna eat away at your soul just like it did Kanye. Every time you crawl into bed with her, you gonna have to think about the dozens and dozens and dozens of dudes and females, maybe? By the way, she mentioned the men, but did she mention any women? Because y'all know if she was with that many men, you know it wasn't, you know Diddy ain't gonna stop there. Oh, and it gets worse. Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse. Folks, imagine this. Imagine it, man. Imagine being, Alex Fine. Y'all see the paragraph here. Mr. Combs told Miss Ventura to search for people who ain't Alex Fine. He had to tell him that. He told her to go search some people who ain't him. Can you imagine some of the things going on in his head? Oh, he's thinking about Lex Steele. He's thinking about Justin Slayer. He's thinking about Mandingo. He's thinking about Mr. Marcus, Mr. Burns, Mr. Withers. Man, he's thinking about a bunch of dudes. I mean, 2 or 3 of them sitting up here triple teaming you broad. Think about that for a few moments. He's just a little milquetoast dude. He ain't about that street life. And he's thinking about these 3 dudes. I'm talking about one got her in a headlock, the other one got her in a leg lock, and the third one's trying to suplex, and P. Diddy is just sitting over there filming. He's just sitting over there letting the cameras roll. All 3 directions in stereo vision. He's getting it in surround sound vision, 4K, with proper lighting. So ain't no mistaking that that's your broad. I mean, they playing tug of war with your broad's limbs. And then when P. Diddy got done, he sent her out to the streets and then she lands on you. You really think that that's where she wants to be? You really think that she's okay going from P. Diddy to a personal trainer? I ain't downing you, dude. I'm just saying that you belong to the game now. She didn't go grab that bag so she can stay with you. She grabbed that bag because she knows that you're not going to be able to get over what she did. You won't be able to. Now you done got married to her and had kids. She suckered you into making a life with her because she knows she will never be able to go back where she was. And when you read over this stuff and find out she was there for a damn decade, you have to start saying to yourself, you know what? Yeah, she got that in her. You've known her long enough to know, yeah, that's not some aberration. Yeah, you can see that look in her eyes. Yeah, this is what she really about. She's just over here because she lost her in. She lost her in. That's it. She lost her in. In the chat room, D'Angela's, why they ended with personal trainers, because these women no longer have access to the men with money. Men with flat abs are far more numerous than men. Men with 8-pack abs are a lot more numerous than men with 8-figure incomes. Why do all these women, Jennifer Lopez and all the, why do they all end up with personal trainers after they've fallen off? Because, you done fell all the way, you done lost the bag, it's over. Yeah, the reason is because a man with 8-pack abs, and yes, you can have an 8-pack, 8-pack abs are easier to find than 8-figure incomes. I'm putting y'all up on maximum business tonight.
Join me, and I will complete your training.
Time to update your files. Yeah, that makes perfect sense to you. So she's thinking about her image going forward, and she knows she's no longer eligible to be with a dude like that. And unlike some of these hoes who lie on the internet, when they got lost their in, they go lie about being with somebody else. Oh, I'm doing great over here. It's all going wonderful. It's all going fine. We're doing fantastic over here. Why? He's all papered up. She can't lie like that because people are going to go Google it. And it's like, baby, you ain't fooling nobody with this. This bull crap ass made up article ain't fooling nobody. It's not fooling anyone. This is the guy who will take you. You've fallen a long damn way from pushing them Jaguars and G-Wagons. You done fell a long damn way from that. She got a Fisker. And by the way, Henrik Fisker is a fantastic car designer. Fantastic car designer. But by the way, baby, yeah, she done went from Ferrari to Fisker. You think she's really okay with that dude? Take a look at, brother, Alex. P. Diddy had her in apartments, luxury apartments in New York, luxury apartments all over California when she was 22. 22. She coming to you over a decade later, and you think it's going to be sweet? You think it's going to be sweet? Dude, you're not going to be able to get over this, and you can go send her out on this hit mission if you want to. Okay, she's gone to settle the case. All right, fine. You can do that. But dude, you're not going to get over this. You're not going to get over this. She's already filed the case. She's already given all the gruesome details. You ain't going to be able to wash that out of your damn mind with $1 million or $100 million. This is going to eat away and chip at you. You will not be okay with it. You will not be okay with P. Diddy's money any more than you will be okay with P. Diddy's leftovers. Now that's where you at today, dude. This is where it's at. You're not gonna be able to do that. Cause first of all, the money coming to her, not to you. It's coming to her, not to you. She doesn't have to share it with you. Folks, when's the last time you saw a female come into a big ass windfall and things didn't go bad in the relationship right after that? Brother, by the best damn token, you worth a couple million, which I seriously question the validity of this. I don't believe this. Same pictures. I don't believe this at all. Y'all take a look at this garbage here. You go Google about him and his net worth. The same damn pictures everywhere. Come on, man. Come on, man. Dude, you ain't gonna be able to wash that out your head. You're not. You know why? Because let me go ahead and get grimy with it for a minute right here. Brother, every time you get into bed with her and she does that nasty ass stuff that you love, you gonna be thinking about the nigga that put her up on the game. What? It doesn't matter. You can't brag about your sex life, dude. All you gonna be able to say is, well, she did it. You know where she got it from. You know where she got it from. Anything she does and everything you like, you know who it was. Or you know who it was who put her in the room with the very big people. With the very large people. You know who it was who did that. You're not going to be able to let that go or dismiss that. You're not. Now you feel like you got took. Now you feel like you got played. Now you feel like you got deceived. You see, before now, you could lie to yourself and tell yourself, well, she looks all purebred and everything's great and everything's fine and I got me an X-star. How lucky am I? Hey, I'm a personal trainer and look what I was able to bag. Now you found out what the price of that was. Folks, I'm telling y'all right now, and I don't wish bad things on people. And I don't want anybody's relationship to end. I think that's a bad, terrible thing. I don't like people who go around hoping that folks have misfortune. Folks, I just call it, I'm just the umpire. I just call it like I see it. I just call it down the middle. And I suspect that Alex is the one that he found out some things that he could not shake. He's been trying to lie to himself all this time. He was telling himself, well, maybe if I hook up with her, the personal training thing will take off. That ain't exactly happened, but at least when he goes places, at least in this internet age, he's able to say, well, hey, I'm married to a former R&B singer. Even if she only had 15 or 16 minutes of fame. And what I'm saying is, whatever she's going to go extort out of P. Diddy now, dude, you're not gonna be able to wash that away. You are not gonna be able to erase that. You're not. And if this is bothering you so badly that you pushed her or encouraged her or made her feel like she gotta go file a lawsuit or do something, dude, we're already past the point of no return. We're already there. Even if you stay married to her, it's going to be knockdown dragouts all the damn time. You're not going to let this go. This was them in July 24th. You're not going to let this go. You are not going to let that go. Everywhere you go now, people are going to be reminding you of what your woman really is. I'm not downing him. I don't want anything bad happening there. This is a man. He got a family. I respect that. But what I'm saying, dude, is you belong to the game now. You belong to the game. You can't brag on being married to P. Diddy's victim. And now that she's settled out of court within 24 hours, bruh. She settled out of court in 24 hours. She's not even a victim anymore. She's an opportunist, and now you're just the opportunist husband. That's all you are now. You're just the opportunist husband. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's not going to be worth it. You've already married her. You've already seen her naked 8 ways from Tuesday. But then again, you're not the only one. But you've already there. You can't get any more benefit out of saying, "Hey, I'm laying up with Cassie," for if anybody cares. You can't get any more benefit or mileage out of that. And this is going to bother you and eat up. It already is. It already is. You're already done. You're already done. Right now, you're trying to console yourself. And if you think that running P. Diddy's pockets is going to make this medicine go down any easier, you're a fool, man. You don't care about Cassie's money? That isn't the value that a female brings to us. That's not the value that a female brings to us. A female's value isn't her income. Her value is her outcome, not her income. And the outcome is, after a decade of getting her draws body slammed by P. Diddy and, by her own admission, untold numbers of sex workers and other various men. Dude, a decade of that, and drugs and everything else that you know go with that, which includes STDs. After all of that, this is what you stuck with. When your chick has been in dozens of hotels, having the Royal Rumble with P. Diddy and every other group of niggas in town he knows, bruh, you've been trying to tell yourself you can live with this. And you know what? You probably could have if you didn't marry her and didn't have any children with her. You probably could have lived with this. Kanye West tried to tell himself that he could live with it too. At the end of the day, a woman's money ain't gonna matter. You can't erase the past. You gave her a far higher value than any of these other people did. And that's going to bother you. Now you're finding out how it was that a personal trainer could end up married to somebody like Cassie. Now you're finding out why. You thought it was your great sterling personality. Within 60 days of her breaking up with P. Diddy, she was talking to you. Now you know why. 5 years later, he's finding out why. And her getting the bag is not going to comfort you. It isn't going to raise her value, and it isn't going to comfort you. If y'all two been arguing and fighting about this before, if you've been up at night, if you've been asking her, "Why, Cassie, why?" because you believe that she was something pure and something she really isn't, if you were you seen all these little slut signals that she been giving you, and you've been like, but where she picked it up from? Well, she says it wasn't like that. And now you find out, it was orders of magnitude worse than you ever thought it was. Dude, that's gonna eat at you. Now that she's done the ultimate jack move and settled out of court within 24 hours, bro, you're gonna be mocked and laughed at everywhere. A man can't take that. A man can't take being married to a woman that makes people mock him and laugh at him. A man can't take being with a woman that gets people to start questioning his credibility and his principles. A man can't do that. He can't do that and live with it. He ain't gonna make it like that. It don't work that way. He can't sit here and be happy with somebody doing that. He just can't. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So I'm letting you all know what really happened here and where it's really coming from. I'm letting you know what really happened and where it's really coming from. Anybody who was trying to defend her before now, you look like the ass we always knew you were. You look like as big a ass as we knew you were. She made you all look stupid in record time. And anybody who wanted to question me before, by the way, oh, Jason, you hate women and this, that, and the other. By the way, math? No, I just hate liars. Math, anyone? Yeah, I know why you did it. I know what you did. Hey, I'm not hating on you for running Diddy's pockets. I'm not hating on you for that. I am telling you that in the words of Mr. Spock on Star Trek, I think that you will find that having is not so pleasing a thing as wanting. The worst thing in the world you could do is have the bag sitting there, dude, because then you two will just be sitting at home with nothing but time to sit with each other, sitting with each other by yourselves. Your money problems are solved. You're sitting with each other by yourselves. That means all you two can be is who you are with each other. That's all you can be now is who you are with one another. That's it. That's all. Now you have to be with this woman, not with the settlement in her bank account. You gotta be with this woman now. And is it still worth it? Is she still worth it? All I'm going to say is I hope he didn't read this lawsuit, but most likely he's got gruesome details that this lawsuit doesn't even touch on. If he's lucky, this lawsuit is mostly lies and gross exaggerations. If he's not lucky, dude, this is what you married. And there is no clout and there is no pride you can have in it. This is an abject lesson to the fellas everywhere. I got dudes listening to me right now. Some of you are millionaires. Some of you are future millionaires. I want you to know what the rules of the road are. Watch who you hang with. Don't go hog wild. Make sure that you understand to keep out of these kind of situations. You talking about slutting them out and every damn thing else. Watch out for that because now they trying to go cutthroat. If you get built and if you get made, you better watch out. This woman waited half a decade to come after Diddy. Do you understand that? She waited half a decade to come for him. Half a decade. After all these events are seemingly long gone, she waited years to come back. She done gone off and gotten married and had children? Okay, but did you check the timeline, did he? Did you check the timeline? Let me go ahead and say something right quick to the fellas out there. There are some of you fellas out there that you are proponents of dark game. I ain't mad at you because I am a practitioner of the dark arts myself. I'm not mad at you. I'm a wizard of the dark arts myself. But I want you all to understand that these are dangerous forces that you're playing with because when a man has exerted absolute power, when he has exerted absolute influence, when he's gotten a female to cross every line and every boundary that she told herself she wouldn't do, when he's gotten her to do everything, just understand she cannot be happy and she cannot be at peace if she doesn't attempt to destroy you. P. Diddy has gone on to bigger and better things. Cassie has gone on to a personal trainer. P. Diddy has gone on to a personal fortune, and Cassie has gone on to a personal fitness trainer. You damn right she coming back for you. Yes, and by the way, she was associated with Kid Cudi, so I'm about to say, by the way, if she tries to tell you that that's just an accident or whatever, by the way, P. Diddy and Kid Cudi, and both of them got, we both know they kind of got the same preferences in people. Yeah, dude, that's not no accident. She's looking to cash out. She's looking to cash out. So fellas, I understand some of you is like, man, look here. I'm going to run this broad through the ringer. I'm going to have her do all sorts of nasty things. I'm going to give in to my every dark desire. I understand that, but what I want you to know is that those memories are going to be whooping her ass every single night. Especially when she got to take that downgrade. When she got to take that downgrade and the fella she with, he doesn't have a name, he doesn't have any status, he doesn't have any clout, he doesn't have any charisma. Nobody shouts his name anywhere. And now she's stuck with him. Oh, she blames you. She blames you because she got downgraded. She blames you because she's not walking in the stars and the clouds like she was. And fellas, I'm warning you, we have entered an era where the court system and the laws and everything else is trying to back their play. That if you took her best years, you can't legislate no garbage like that. Well, you took her best years, she gets to sue you. She was a hoe during them years. Well, you took advantage of it, So to my fellas out there, I want you to understand what the real game here is. Some of you who are listening to me right now, you are millionaires. I know you personally. Shout out to the others. You're aspiring millionaires. And some of you, I will say, you are going to be future millionaires. And during your downtime, the temptation will be there for you to say, you know what, I'm going to throw it all up. We're going to go some places we haven't been before. Let me see how far I can roll with this. Let me see how far I can take it. Let me see how far I can go. The temptation will be there. You must do your due diligence. You must do your due diligence. And you must understand that if you pay, if you play, you pay. This chick waited half a damn decade to come back. Let me tell you what P. Diddy did wrong. Number one, I'm going to say it. If Michael Francis, former mobster, he said he goes around and he talks to teenagers and he tells them to walk the straight and narrow and he talks to them about crime. But he says, I don't try to lead to delinquency. I don't want you to get into mischief. He said, I don't want to advise you how to commit crimes, but I will tell you one thing. If you do commit a crime, the only way you can get away with it is if you do it by yourself. The only way you can get away with it is if you do it by yourself. Because if you involve other people, P. Diddy had rooms of people in multiple cities. If you involve other people because you trying to show just how much you can hang out, that's the problem. If it was just his word versus hers, it would be different. She was his girlfriend for a decade. Everybody's just going to say y'all was having crazy wild sex and tell her to sit her ass down. What she's going to say is, oh no, he was taking me all over the place and all these other people were doing these things and it's not the sex trafficking. She's done the same thing. This is the week for all these folks busting these gay dudes. The Will Smith's former personal assistant has come out and formally said, yeah, Will is gay and he was sleeping with Dwayne Martin. Now this chick, the same week, people connect the damn dots, the same week she comes out and says P. Diddy is gay. Damn. Folks, everybody is running the bag this week. They've set a precedent. Every chick who got the dirt on you, every dude who got the dirt on you, they coming up and saying, hey, nigga, I'm taking my cut. I'm taking my cut. I'm taking my cut. You gonna drop it off now. I'm taking, yeah, Dwight Howard. Everybody is running the pockets on these dudes who got these tendencies. Dwight Howard, Will Smith, P. Diddy. Man, look here. Everybody is running the pockets. They running straight to the courthouse now and saying, I'm going to get that bag. I'm going to get that bag. So everyone who's got blackmail on you, and in her case, she's like, oh, Diddy, I got a decade of documents on you. I got a decade on you. Oh, damn, publishing, nigga, when I get done, you and me gonna be partners. I'm in them pockets. So the real thing is she has said enough things here that he doesn't want her coming out and confirming it, because then you ain't gonna get no more females to show up with you, because now the chicks have got to admit that they know it's true. So you can't get no more young broads to go hang out with you after you have to, if they get you under deposition and you have to confess and admit that you sleep with other men. That's what this is about. This is a blackmail. This is a shakedown to drop out enough details to say, by the way, and if you try to fight this, we're going to get you in court and we're going to ask you every pervasive question. You going to be like Dwight Howard, except you won't get a pass. All your associates, anybody who wants to sign onto your record label, you will be done. Just like Dwight Howard is done. So she dropped enough information to let it know, by the way, dude, I got dates, names, numbers, hotels, receipts. I can prove that we were there, and I can prove that I slept with some of them guys. And what I'm going to say is you made me do it. But more importantly, I'm going to tell everybody, I'm going to get those guys that you slept with, all them male escorts, I'm going to get them to say under oath that, yes, they know what P. Diddy looked like naked. That's what the game was. She was holding that over his head, and she's like, dude, y'all got to understand, just like with Lizzo got to settle these things, because remember, during discovery, they usually make you take a deposition. Usually opposing counsel wants you to take a deposition, which is kind of like a trial before the trial. So they ask you a bunch of damn questions about things. So it's kind of like a trial before the trial. They get to ask you a bunch of questions. Man, what are you going to do? If they get, and that can be public record. The deposition is part of the court case. So the deposition is public record. If they depose P. Diddy, if they get him in a deposition, that's under oath. They can ask him all the questions they want to under deposition. Well, they don't even have to make it to the courthouse. So yeah, she got you under the gun. You got to settle this. You have to. She's got you under the gun. If they depose him and start asking him about them dudes, that's public record. How many young Miamis are going to want to show up on the at the gala with him next time? How many? So it was a shakedown. It always was. It was always a shakedown. And I suspect that this is the guy because he couldn't live with what he found out and what he knew. So he's been on her ass about, well, what if you didn't really want to do it? Why didn't you press charges? She was probably telling him, oh, I didn't want to do it and they made me do it and I was sex trafficked and all this mess. And he was telling her, well, why didn't you do something about it? And then she finally decided to do something about it. Okay, well, dude, you got that, but I'm just telling you right now, it's not going to satisfy you. It's not going to satisfy you. It won't. Young Miami only shows up as long as P. Diddy got plausible deniability. Only as long as they got plausible deniability. Ain't no females gonna be sitting up here running around him nowhere if he comes out and says, I'm gay. The chicks ain't gonna dig that. That's it. That's it. In the chat room, yeah, I mean, if he does divorce her now, he's going to be like, you know what? I need to be compensated on account of the fact that I stayed with you this long. So, yeah, if she gets the bag, she going to have to drop half to him. He been with her for 5 years now. They're married with kids. Yeah, you're going to have to drop that bag to him now. You're going to have to drop that bag to him now. I'm not saying that I hope they break up. I'm just saying that if I am correct and that he is the force behind coercing her into pressuring her into feeling like she gotta, quote, do something because he can't live with the memories of what he's married and what she really do. If that's the case, I don't see how it lasts. Ladies, once a man finds out that you a hoe and the parameters of it, just understand that drastically reduces the price and the value. You don't get to go off and be Miss Susie Homemaker. You don't get to do that. There's no man who wants to be married without his pride and self-respect. And this guy isn't high profile, but he's got a big enough profile that, yeah, it matters who he's married to. He doesn't have as big of an image as she does, but he's got an image. And now he's got to decide if the money she about to get from P. Diddy is enough for him to live with. And I suspect that if you came this far along, you already know the answer. You already know the answer. However, we'll see, won't we? We'll see. Either he's going to overlook this and keep it pushing, or it'll be yet another, did I call it? Or did I call it? We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. We'll be doing it here tomorrow, 12 noon Central Time. You're definitely invited to join us. We get to discuss things here that we are not able to talk about on YouTube and more. So you're welcome to join us there as well. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo, Tamao, Tom Slick, James Green, everyone else here. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you to all of you for watching live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes this broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business, or the business will come back one day and handle you.